just a little bit about watercolor and watercolor brushes. And after yesterday's workshop, I thought while I'm cleaning my brushes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the brushes as well, so that when you do come to a workshop, you will know a little bit about the brushes. So I've got a mop brush here from Daler Rowney, and you can see it's called a mop because it can actually mop up a lot of water. So I hope the water shows. Let me just check if the water shows. Yes, it does. So I have two water containers, one for very dirty water and then one for clean water. And underneath the container with the dirty water, I have a sponge. And you'll see that this brush can actually take a lot of water. An easy way to show you is on paper, which I don't have with me now, but you can see how much water it actually retains. And you'll see I work in the direction of the brush. I don't push this brush because it's going to ruin the hairs. I suppose with some of your cheaper brushes you can do that if you want special effects, but with the more expensive brushes I don't do that. Also, when I clean it with water firstly, and then you can actually put on some mild soap, not any harsh chemicals or anything like that. I use white soap or boereseep, that works well, and then I rinse it off. And using a sponge like this, now we've got the sponges to actually fit into this. Now you get them at, I think you'll get them at Builders, but I got this at a pet shop. It's used for fish tank filters, and it actually works very well because it's coarser than the kitchen sponges, but still soft. And you can see I still try and retain the shape of the brush. And when I dry them, I keep them flat until they dry. And I'll show you now why that is necessary. Because if you if you put your brushes in like that to dry, say for instance like this one, and you can see the damage on this one already, you will damage the wood part of this, and it also damages the ferrule, which is this part of the brush. Okay, so if you leave it upright like that all the time, then the water will go into the ferrule and over the varnished bit of the wood, and it will actually destroy the wood. Now in the beginning I didn't care about that but yeah, I think it's something to take note of. And you can see this now is a bit cheaper brush, and the hairs are coming out in the end, and I probably also didn't look after it well enough. But these are mops, and they totally round. And then you get from Montmartre, you also get some mops, which I've recently purchased, but their ferrule is like crimped here at the one end, so it's almost like an oval shape, but it also can take a lot of water. This one doesn't come to a sharp point, and in the beginning of when you use your brush, the hairs might still come loose, which it's fine if you lose a few hairs. Okay, so this one doesn't come to a very sharp point like these, so just to take note of that. This one is a normal round brush, and actually quite a versatile brush. I love the mops, but yesterday after the workshop I thought I should have said more about the round brushes, because they are actually the middle of the road brushes, and these are also made specifically for watercolor, so you'll see it also retains quite a bit of water. So any of your watercolor brushes, that's something that you would like, is to actually have a brush that can contain a lot of water. This one is a very special brush, and it's called the cat's tongue, this one, and it also has a flat bit there, and then it comes to a point like that, so it's got a very interesting shape, and it's also quite a versatile brush. All right, so you can really invest in good brushes, because if you look after them, they will last you very long. And remember, some of these are natural hair, some of them are synthetic, and it will probably say it on the product when you buy it. Most of the cheaper brushes are synthetic, but you get some very nice mixes that are synthetic and natural hair. Then I've got these, what I call my go-tos these days, even for oils and acrylics, but I don't mix them, so I keep my brushes separate. So I never use my watercolor brushes for anything but watercolor. Or let me rather say, I really try to. These brushes are really, really cheap. They are Pro Art brushes, and they're really cheap. And I must say, I'm quite impressed with what they can do. It's also quite a soft brush, because that's one thing that I do like for watercolor. It has to be quite a soft brush. And these ones all have a little bit of soap on because I've already cleaned them. And you can see I keep the direction of it, and I try to reshape the brush as best as possible. And I'll leave them out to dry flat. Okay, even if I dried it like that, I still need to actually keep them flat, and I like to put it onto a towel and then make it dry like that. Then there are a few specialty brushes that I really, really like, and these are the swords and the daggers, because they give you a very nice spontaneous line. So those are quite nice. The round brushes that are synthetic, like these ones from Prime Art, and you'll find a lot of products like these, they are actually fine to use. They're not that expensive, but they don't retain as much water as, say, this round brush here. So you'll see that this round brush has got a little, I almost want to say like a bubble here, that can take a lot of water. Okay, so I think, yeah, especially these brushes like this, if you leave them in a container like this, for instance, and you forget them for a while, you can see what happens to it. It changes the shape of that brush, and sometimes even permanently. So I would really recommend never to leave your brushes in the water, and also to try and get your brush back to its shape that it's supposed to have. And I do that by slowly rolling it like that, and then leaving them flat like that. Okay, these ones are nice, very thin ones, and they're called riggers. So they're very nice and thin, and you can make very thin lines with them. Okay, these Montmort brushes are the new brushes that I bought, and I'm actually quite impressed with them. They're a little bit between the mop and a round brush. They don't have as much of a bulge, but can still have a lot of water, take a lot of water and hold a lot of water, which you want when you do that. Alright, this is just how to clean your brushes, and then next time I'll show you a little bit about the exercises you can do with your watercolor brushes, so that you can practice. Okay, I just want to show you these little ones before I go. They're all round brushes, very nice go-tos. This one is the Eve brand. Winsor & Newton also looks a lot like this. And these ones I think is Raphael, if I remember correctly. And they're also very nice. And when Deco Ed and Italian Art Shop and Brush and Canvas have a sale, that's when I buy them. This one is also a sable. It says Kolinsky brush, and I think it's not just pure sable. I think it will be a mix, because I didn't pay that much. Because a sable brush can easily put you back 1,000 or more. So sable brushes are extremely expensive. So, and because I'm not so careful with my brushes, I won't invest in sable just yet. I will get a sable mix or an imitation sable, and they work very well. Okay, that's for now.